What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a feeling that I have struggled with in the past and I still do every now and then. And it's the feeling of being behind in life. And I will also talk about what you should do and what you can do if you feel this way. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned from it. And I really hope that this video helps you live a better life. Going on Instagram and keeping up with the lives of others has often led me to think about the things I haven't accomplished or done yet. And often the result is that I feel behind in life. I mean, there's something about social media posts. They're well thought of, they're impeccable. Everyone looks like they're having a blast and having so much fun. And often when you look at them, you're kind of behind the scenes and you're just doing your boring stuff, your boring everyday stuff. And I think I'm also at the age where things are starting to happen for all of us. You know, some of us are getting married, some are having children, some are doing their masters, their PhDs, some are getting promotions, and I feel like everyone is kind of advancing in life. And it's so easy to feel behind in life when you compare your behind the scenes and when you compare yourself to people's success. Only you can decide what success means to you. But again, it's so easy to refer to society's definition of success when it's constantly being thrown at you. And the result, I think, is feeling behind in life and feeling lost. And the biggest culprit to feeling behind in life is comparison. Comparison, as we've all heard it, is the thief of joy. But I realize that it doesn't have to be this way. Just like stress, a little bit of comparison can be good for your body, can be good for you because it helps you achieve what you want to achieve, right? It's hard to evaluate yourself without some form of comparison. So I think comparison is kind of inevitable. Either you compare yourself to yourself or someone else. You're going to have to compare yourself to something at least. And this is where we fall short because there's two kinds of comparison. There's collaborative comparison and competitive comparison. And I think when people say that comparison is bad, they refer to the competitive comparison. And it's also the one that we refer to the most. Let me give you an example. Have you ever had an exam that you felt you were going to fail or at least do really bad, but you ended up having a pretty good grade? So you feel pretty good about yourself, you know, you're proud and you're like so relieved. But then you find out that a lot of your friends have gotten better grades. And then suddenly your grade isn't so satisfying anymore and it's not so good anymore and you don't feel so good about yourself anymore. I think this is a prime example of a competitive comparison where you look at others and feel like, oh, why do they have it and I don't? What about them? And why should they have it? And I think it's a little bit of jealousy, and this is where it becomes so self-destructive. This is a simple example, but I think it can be applied to a lot of activities and things in our life. See, the thing about comparison is that it's mostly inaccurate because the things that you see or hear about others are things that they decided to share about themselves. No one talks about their flaws, their mistakes, their setbacks, and what's going on behind their scenes. And that's okay because it's personal, but that also means that you shouldn't judge them or yourself based on what you see or hear about others because you don't know the real story. You don't know what's going on behind their scenes. You don't know what they had to do to get to where they are, and you don't know their struggles. It's so easy yet so unhealthy to look at the strengths of others and compare them to your weaknesses. Nobody is the same. You have strengths, you have areas of improvements, and you also have things about yourself that people look up to and admire. You're just not aware of it because they haven't told you. But I can guarantee you that there's probably someone out there that would be very willing to switch places with you. I think it's important for us to stay in our lane and to really just focus on moving forward. But when you bring yourself down and you start looking at others, you're distracted and you're unable to advance and move forward. And I think it leads to feeling stuck and not really advancing in life. It was such a relief for me when I stopped looking at things this way when comparing myself to others. And as much as I would love to completely stop comparing myself to others, I haven't been able to. But I did learn to switch up the perspective and change my approach when comparing myself and my life to others' lives. And I think that you can also switch up your perspective and your approach. And here comes the collaborative approach that I was talking about earlier. When you compare yourself to others, instead of telling yourself, I can't do it, I'll never get there, I'm not good enough, I can't get there, you should tell yourself that you can do it. You will get there. And if you're not there, you're just not there yet, but you will. And ask yourself a few questions like, how can I get there? What will it take for me to be like them? And what are they doing that led them to be so amazing? And also, what about my life should I change in order to become more like them. And when you do catch yourself comparing yourself to someone else negatively, tell yourself stop it, like it does me no good. And think about the things and the people that you do have in your life and start questioning the things that you see out there. You know, the successful entrepreneur that you see probably works 12 to 16 hours every day. The athletes and fitness gurus have to work out every day and they have to adhere to a strict training and nutrition regimen. The people that you see buying a house at a young age had to save a lot of their money and they have to sacrifice a lot of things in order to save that money and take a loan and buy that house. And the list goes on and on and on. And I think you can apply this to a lot of the things that you see out there. Whether it's time, money, experiences, or sleep, anyone that is successful today in any area has had to make their own sacrifices to get to where they are today. And I think it's unfair to diminish their success by thinking, oh, they got it because they're lucky, or oh, of course they got it. And instead I started admiring them instead of feeling intimidated by them. And I decided to stop judging myself when looking at others because of the things I haven't done or accomplished yet. And I decided to just stay on my own lane because no one is the same. We all have our different setbacks, opportunities, and we have different starting points. It's unfair for myself and for you to compare yourself to someone's level 100 if you're still at level 1 and you're just getting started. It just makes no sense. Feeling behind in life is a feeling that's gonna come and go. And when you do catch yourself feeling this way, make sure to refer back to these 5 reminders. The first one is that no one is perfect, and neither are you. There's always going to be someone that is smarter, funnier, prettier, taller, richer, or more successful than you. The second one is that you should stop telling yourself, I should have, or I could have, because the reality is that you still can. Especially if you haven't started. It's never too late. Third one is to start comparing yourself to only yourself. And 4, if you still compare yourself to others, and if you're gonna compare yourself to others, make sure to use it as an inspiration for what you can do and what you can achieve in life. And finally, last but not least, you have to nurture and water the tree and the plant that is your life instead of focusing on someone else's garden, because that does you no good. At the end of the day, I think that life is way too short to constantly compare yourself with others. There's no one size fits all when it comes to living your life. And none of us are the same. We're all in our own journey, on our own path. So how about we start inspiring and helping ourselves instead of feeling intimidated by each other's success and activities and things that are going on in each other's lives. I think life is more about becoming a better version of yourself. And ultimately, no one is better than you at being you. So make sure you just do you, boo-boo. You already know.